Hello and welcome to the second lesson of my Spring Framework course. In this lesson we will learn how to add CSS and JavaScript to our Spring Framework application. That is the advantage of the Spring Framework development. We can combine a Spring Framework with other tools like CSS, JavaScript, and so on. We can also add the images, but we will focus on the CSS and the JavaScript. Don't worry if you don't know well the CSS and JavaScript. We will learn how to work with JavaScript in the next tutorial. So we will have also one separate section about that. We'll just learn how to connect it with Spring Framework with one very easy examples. First thing that we will do, we will not create a new project. We will use our project from our first tutorial. We will just click on the copy and we will paste that project. We have Spring MVC start. It will not be the name. The name will be Spring CSS JS, for example. It will be good. Let's copy. Perfect. Now we are waiting for dependencies to upload. The advantage of the copy project is that we will use all the dependencies and all the settings from the and also classes we can use from the previous project. But first thing that we need to do, we need to open the POM XML. We will just change the name in the artifact ID. Now it will be the name of our project, CSS JS, and also that will be the final name of our project. Copy. Let's go down under the dependencies and let's paste it here. Perfect. Now it's okay. We can close the POM XML. And let's go to our configuration, Java resources, and under the configuration. Okay, initializer, it's okay, we will not change it. And under the configuration, we will not delete. We will use this view resolver for the previous tutorial. But we need to implement one more function from the web MVC configurer interface. And the name of the function, first we need override annotation, and let's write a function. That will be the function that will add the resources. Public void, and the name of the function is add resource handlers, because that's a function of our interface that we are implementing. And we need one parameter inside, which is the name resource handler registry. Here it is. And also let's give it a name. We will just call it registry. And let's create a body of the function. Inside the body, let's use this registry that we have added as a parameter, and we need to add the resource handler. Now we will stop here. Here we need to specify where is our resource folder, which we don't have it at the moment. For that, on the main Java, we will click here and we need to create a new folder. The name of the folder will be under the main, and we will call it resources. Finish. And under that our new resources folder, we need to create one more folder. The name of that folder will be statics. And here we want to implement CSS and JavaScript. That means that under the statics folder, we need to create two more folders, one for the CSS and one for the JavaScript. And let's do it now. Under the statics, let's create a new folder. First one will be CSS under the statics. And also under the statics, we will create other folder, and the name of other folder will be JS for the JavaScript files. Okay, the folders are created. Now we can specify the path inside of our resources folder. It will be under the text and it will be /resources. And we need one more slash and 2 stars. What is the meaning of these 2 stars? It means that it will be scanned, it will be included everything under the resources folder. And we have statics here, but also we need to define it with as a resource location. We need to add, I can do it in the just a moment, add a resource location, okay, in the new line. Just a moment, okay. Add resource location, and here on the locations we need to write class path. And now let's define class path like and it will be our statics folder. And we need a comma, and under the another text we will specify the location, and it will be /resources /statics. And that means that all the folders under the statics will be included, and we forgot semicolon and the end. That is our function to include our resources. Now what we need to do, we need to create some JavaScript and CSS files. We will just create one JavaScript file and just one of them. Under the statics.js, let's create a new file. It will not be a JSP, it will be just a file. Let's click on next, and when we are creating a file, we need to specify the type of the file. The name will be demo and the type will be JS. Okay, we have created a file, and let me go back to the controller. First thing that we want to, let me just get rid of these two functions. We have created 3 functions. Okay, this welcome function, we will leave it, and we don't need these another 2 functions, we can delete it. To our code to be more clear, let me save it. And also we can do the same thing for in the web info, in the views. We have this, we have a welcome JSP, which is okay, but another 2 functions are deleted, and that means that we can delete hello one and start JSP. Let's delete these 2 files because we don't need them anymore. That will be fine. Now, what is the idea here? Let me return to the welcome JSP. We have one text here, welcome to the Spring MVC world, from the previous tutorial. Idea here is that we want to create one button, for example, and when we press the button, we see with the black text, welcome to the Spring MVC world. And inside we will have one button. When we press that button, we just want to change the color. And to do that, first we need to create a simple function in our demo.js. don't worry, it will be just one simple function. The name of the function will be color change. And let's create a body of the function. Now what can we do? We can inside define one variable title will be equals to, now let's call one JavaScript function document get element but I need a dot get element by ID, and we will write a title. That means that in our JSP file we need to create ID a title. And now we can create one control statement, if statement. They are similar like in Java. If title dot class name equals to color, we will just call it color1. We will have color1 and color2. Okay, if we have defined color1, the point is when we press a button, we want to change the color. Okay, and if we do it, title dot class name will change, and we can define another color with color2. And in the vice versa situation, we'll just define title dot class name. If, for example, if color2 is a current color, that when we press, we want to change to color1, and we will define like color1, but it needs to be under the text color1. And I think we are done with all. It's only just one simple JavaScript function. Save. Okay, we have saved it. Now what we want to do now, we want to create a CSS file where we will define color1 and color2. Let me just first close all. Now under the CSS, let's create a file, and the name of the file will be styles.css. And here we will just define color1 and color2 dot color1, and inside the body color, we'll define a color will be black. That will be default color. And we will do the same. I can just use copy and paste. We can do the same, but we will redefine the color. It will be color2, and for example it will be green. The point is, for example, when we open our application, we will have a text like in the previous tutorial with a black color. But when we press that button that we will create, we want to color change to green. That is idea. We will see how it will gonna look. Okay, now it's perfectly fine. Let's close this styles.css, and now let's return on a welcome JSP. First, and I need to open also demo.js. We have a title, a variable that needs to get element ID a title. Here on the welcome to the Spring MVC world, we need to give it an element ID equals, that will be a title that we want to change a color title. And also we need to define a class. Class will be, by default, it will be color1. Okay, we have defined the title and the class. And now what we want to do, let me just give it a break line to separate that a little. And I will try to do it like an input. It will be a submit button. Input and type will be, it will not be a text, instead will be submit. And we will write the value. The value will be text inside the button. We will just call it color, change color. Okay, the button is closed, but we are not done. We need to create also one event that will be on click. And what will happen on click? On click, just we want to call, we will write the name of the JavaScript function that we have created. That is idea, and we will see how it will gonna work. Now I think that should be fine. But now the point is, it will still not work until we connect. We need to connect CSS and JavaScript to our welcome JSP page. For that, first thing that we need to do, we need to include before HTML, we will include we can include C or Spring tags. Let me see. We have a couple of tags here, and for now I will just use this one. We will talk more about Spring tags in the next tutorials. Now we will just copy this link. Okay, we have pasted. And now under the title we can link the CSS and the JavaScript. Let's first do with CSS link, and we need a ref function. And inside, okay, here double quotes. I will need a single quotes. I will need under the single quotes, I will open the Spring tag. We will see if it will work, or I will need another dependency to add. Spring2.url. Okay, but I will also close it, but I also need to specify the value. Value will be equals, and now I need to open double quotes. And under the double quotes, I will write the location of my CSS file. It is under the resources /resources, but we have defined a statics under the class path. That means that we don't need to type statics. We will just type CSS and the name of the file, which is styles.css. Okay, here double quotes are closed. Let me see this. Double quotes are closed. Spring tag is closed. A single tag here is closed. But before we are closing the link, we need also to call the rel. And inside the rel, we need to write style sheet. And I think that will be fine. We don't have errors for now. And now let's do the similar thing for the JavaScript. Let's call the script tag. Okay, text equals to JavaScript, and also I will need to here it will not be ref, here will be source. This script I can closing script, it can be in the new line. And now here let me also write in the new line, let's define a source, and also I will start it with single tags. Inside the single tags I will again open, but it's not good. I will close it, single quote, when the Spring URL, and we okay, now it is good because source equals, and we are opening the single quote. Inside we are opening Spring URL and closing it, but we need to define the value. It will be similar like with the CSS. Now we will just specify the JavaScript file under resources and JS. We don't need to type statics, and it will be demo.js, and I think that should be fine. Okay, we haven't closed only just a moment, we haven't closed here a script tag properly. Okay, because this one closing tag is from Spring URL, and this another one is for the script tag. Let me see how it looks. Okay, it's okay. Text.javascript source, we have defined the source and we have closed the script tag. We can give it a little space and it will be easier for you to see. We have also defined the link ref for the CSS, and now we will see how it will gonna work. Welcome JSP should be good. Now we have our ID, we have a class color1, we should have created a button. Now I will just save. And what can I do now? I can see how it will gonna work. Let me close this all. And let's click on our Spring CSS JS project. Let's click run on server. Let's click on next. But from the previous tutorial we have our Spring MVC start project. To avoid the confusion, we will click on the old project and we will remove it. And we will run our new project. Now let's click on finish and we will see how it will gonna work. Okay, my server is running. I will just restart it. Okay, and we have some problem. Just a second. I don't have a mapping. I know where is the problem. The problem is inside controller. I have left only the welcome function, which has a mapping for the welcome, and I will delete this. It will have only slash mapping. Now when just a moment, let me try to reload it here. Okay, now it's working and I can here we have our button. Let's see if it works. It is perfectly. Now let me copy this to our browser to see it better. It works like a charm. Here it is. Perfectly fine. Now we can play with this a little. Let's see on the demo.js. Okay, we will not change here anything. It works properly. We can play with that inside the, for example, color 1 can be red and color 2 can be blue, for example. Now let's change with that. And okay, our server will reload. That means that we here on the browser, let's reload. It's still not reloaded. Just a second, let me try to restart the server, because maybe it's better to, I will run on the server again. I will click on finish. Okay, now as you can see, okay, it's reloaded. As you can see, default color now is red, and when we press here on the button to change, it will become blue. Now we have a blue color. If we click again, it will be blue, red. Of course, you can play with that. You can use different colors. It's your wish. But I really hope that you understand it. This is a basic example how can we add CSS and JavaScript files to our Spring Framework application. Of course, if you have some problems with the code, you can download my source code from the my GitHub repository. You will have the link in the description. Also, you can comment in the comment section, and also you can follow me on Instagram and to contact me there. You will also have the link in the description. And don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next tutorial.